Hello, one and all. How is it going, guys? So this was somewhat impromptu. I mean, I was wanting to do a live stream this evening, though I didn't really make any announcements about it until just a couple hours ago. So thanks everyone for joining. Feel free to put whatever questions in the chat box, and I'll do what I can to answer them. I can't promise that I'll be able to answer every single question, but I'll do my best. And I do want to start off by saying a big thank you to everyone who has been backing the Kickstarter. In case you haven't noticed or somehow are unaware, the Gauntlet Runner Kickstarter launched today. We are day one. We are already funded. We're very close to 150% funded. So we're about halfway to the first stretch goal. So that's super cool. Thank you guys. That means so much to me. And I'm very excited to see where the Kickstarter is going to go, how far it's going to reach, what stretch goals we're going to strike. There are a couple in there that I'm personally really hoping that we get to and excited about. And I have a lot of stuff in store for the coming weeks here. A lot of stuff for the YouTube channel, and there'll be, videos. I'll be back. I'm finally back to being able to produce videos at a greater frequency. Got some Monster Melee ideas. Got a new Brotherhood of Fjarlstead video in the works. Have what is it? It's another ranking video. Okay, I've got a couple ranking ideas, and then some other miscellaneous videos that are not from any of the ongoing series. Anyhow, let me get over to the chat comments, because really that's what I'm most interested in. But I did wanted to say thank you very much to everybody who's been backing. Strat Player, aka Maddest Hatter, great to see you, man. Really looking forward to collaborating with you some more. Lord of the Beans, Esper, what is up, my guy? It's been a heck of a day, let me tell you, Bean Lord. Deathmaster. Not a bad evening, seeing as my game was canceled. Well, I hope this is a good secondary. Volps Corvum, long live the bard. A bardic bow of gratitude to you. I got Esper's Emporium of Esoterica for my birthday 2 years ago. Still the most precious book I own. Thank you. It's sort of like a band's first album. This is my first book. It's a lot of creativity went into that book, a lot of ideas. If I had to do it over again, yeah, I would do some things differently. Probably would split it into two books, but that's okay. It's like my first album was a double album. Magnus Agma Hinlo to you as well. Fluga as well. Looking forward to collaborating with you some more, Fluga. Fantastic longtime supporters in the chat here. Crush Pusher, congratulations on meeting the Kickstarter funding. Thank you very much. And like I said, very excited and hopeful to see the funding just get higher and higher. To probably repeat something that you already know, just hitting baseline funding on Kickstarter it's not, I mean, it's great. It's an amazing milestone, but that is how can I say this? A lot of creators put their funding goal pretty low to kind of help generate the excitement and the hype of it all, because it looks really cool to be like, oh, my project is 5,000% funded. So the reality is just the baseline funding from a creator's perspective is not great. It's well, there's a couple ways you can do it. Maybe I should approach it this way. There's a couple ways you can do it. So the way I do it, and the way many creators do it, is you set your funding goal as okay, this is the minimum amount where I could produce this book. It's not going to be particularly beneficial for me from a business standpoint. It's not really going to be lucrative. It's going to be kind of rough, but feasible. Like I can make it happen. It'll work. It will be a thing. People will get their books, and like that'll be another creation in the world. So like, thumbs up. I'm not going to be like dancing for joy, but it'll happen. The other way to do it, which is a way I do not prefer, is that creators set the funding goal much lower than really what they actually need to even produce the thing, whatever their thing is, be it a game or some other item. And they put their funding goal like, it's not arbitrary. It's like the opposite of arbitrary, artificially way low as a kind of tactic to generate more hype. And it looks like you're so crazy funded and that people are just like loving this so much. I don't prefer that. I do understand that is, kind of a marketing tactic, a strategy, you might call it. But a couple of reasons I don't like that. One is that if you don't fund super high, then you put yourself in a weird position where, you see this from time to time. I saw it just yesterday while looking at recent projects. I can't remember which one it was, but their funding goal was 10,000. The actual funding reached 40,000, and the creator canceled the project. He's 400% funded, but he canceled the project. Why? Because even 40,000 really wasn't enough to produce the game. And I mean, hopefully what that creator is doing is like going back to the drawing board and is going to just try again, right? Going to make some adjustments and refine some things, do a bit of a pivot, and then try it again, try a new approach or a new tactic and have better success the next time. We would hope so. But I don't want to be in that position where I'm like, hey guys, we're like a 200% funded, but I'm actually canceling it because I went kind of finagly on the funding goal. And the other reason is I try really hard to tell the truth. It's very difficult. And I was tempted to put Gauntlet Runner at 5,000, and there were people that were not like pressuring me or anything, but certainly imploring me to consider that. And so like by now we'd be like 300% funded, and that would look cool, and I could put like funded in 20 minutes or something, but it's not the truth. And I think that in the long run, it's better to go with what's true. So that's what I really, really try to do that, even when it's hard. Okay, off of that ramble. Let me see. Zero Valen. Can we get a Dragon Rider versus Dragon Rider? Ooh, for a Monster Melee, right? Dragon Rider. Huh, okay. Dragon Riders Monster Melee. I tend to approach dragon riding with great caution. In my campaign setting, Myriad Legends, the world of Ikoros, dragons are loath to have someone riding on them. They're loath to have someone controlling them as though they were mounts, as though they were beasts of burden. They greatly disdain having someone like as though they're their master. So usually if someone is riding a dragon, and I'm talking about dragons here, I'm not talking about riding drakes, I'm not talking about riding wyverns or griffins or whatever else, specifically true dragons. If someone's riding a true dragon, that typically would mean it's a very powerful individual who has dominated a dragon, who probably would not otherwise want or allow someone to be riding on it. Yes, of course, there could be exception situations, of course, like there could be some dire crisis and like you're allied with this dragon, and it's like, get the party riding on your back or they're gonna die in the volcano or something. So yeah, I'm not really thinking about exceptions here. I'm thinking about the general rule. Try to approach dragon riding with great caution and great mindfulness. So it would be a cool monster melee, and even though most monster melees are not like canon in Myriad Legends, a lot of them are it's just a monster melee. It doesn't actually officially take place in any timeline. Sometimes I do, like the Fjarlstead one with the guards against the Ettins. That one became canon. So I will always make it clear whenever a monster melee actually is like considered officially to have taken place in Ikoros. Would I have 2 dragon riders like as canon? I don't know. It seems like something I would really want to build up to story-wise. But if I do it like non-canon, non-official, just a battle, like the Drow one I did recently, the Drow one was just inspired by Gauntlet Runner. It's not actually taking place in Ikoros. So I could maybe do it with that, or maybe just two mounted riders that are riding some kind of like exotic monstrous mount. It's a cool idea. Thanks for the suggestion. Lord of the Beans, don't be frugal in donating to the Gauntlet Runner. Actually, I encourage you to be frugal. Frugal. Well, you're free to make your own choice. I would prefer abundant instead of frugal. But frugal would mean that one is acting like Mr. Fluga, who is a generous benefactor and wonderful comrade in these mythic enterprises. So I encourage anyone to be like Fluga. Deathmaster, are there any plans on adding physical maps? Okay, so great question. That is something that I looked into quite a bit, man. And I really wanted to do it. I really wanted to do maps, and I really wanted to do minis. They both ended up not working out for different reasons. I don't really want to get into the minis topic because it's kind of complicated, and I think it will take up a lot of time. So we'll just not worry about the minis topic at the moment. The physical maps. So there's essentially 2 different ways that one could go with physical maps, that I could go, or whatever creator could go with the physical maps. Generally speaking, they would be high quality maps and inexpensive maps, right? There's the higher price point one and the lower price point one. So the higher price point one is like it's made with a sturdy, long-lasting material like vinyl, and like you can roll them up. They're not going to wrinkle. You can draw on them and erase them with marker, and so that's one way you could go. And then the other way, the less expensive way, is you just print them on an inexpensive paper, like bond paper, pretty much, essentially the same way that like builders and architects would print their blueprints, right? It's the same thing. You would use like a printing service that probably does a lot of blueprints and more like commercial or industrial type printing. So they have like these big print machines that can make these wide ones. It is costly. That's probably the main problem that I kept running into, that anyone will run into. So even if you go the inexpensive option with bond paper, like maybe you can find a deal with someone that can print these really, because they're very big maps. Maybe someone could print them for like $15 each, and that would be a pretty good price. I don't know if you could find someone that could do it for like maybe $10 each, and maybe you're like getting a bulk order, so they would drop it down even a little bit more. I'm not completely ruling it out, but at the moment I have not found any print company yet, because that's a lot of big paper, and then they put them into, like, roll them up into tubes that it's not, sometimes in the background it's not Not currently in the background, but I have one of those big tubes. I got like a big map that came in it. And so they like send it to these tubes, and it like takes up a whole bunch of space. Shipping them is like, they're big, kind of awkward things to ship. So I guess that's two different problems. One is that they're just quite expensive, and the other is that they're bulky, difficult to store and to ship, and expensive to ship. So there's 8 dungeons. If we hit the 50K stretch goal, we'll have 9 dungeons. So like, let's imagine I get them at a cost, that whole group of them, for like $100. So for me as the creator, $100, and I get like a tube with all the Gauntlet Runner maps in it. Well, I mean, I'm not going to offer them for $100. That doesn't make any sense, because then you're just, no business would do that, because you're just working for free. So you got to like have a margin in there. So what do I offer them for? Do I offer them for $150? That's a bad margin, but it's something. But then people look at it and be like, wow, I'm paying $150 to just get this kind of cheaper paper. I don't know if people would have the right, I don't know if people's perception of it would be, it might give a weird perception. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I don't know that there's a great frame of reference that most people would have to look at that and say, oh, like it immediately makes sense why it would be that price. So it's very complicated. Then if you go the premium map route, and they're the vinyl maps, like they're much more expensive to produce. So what I'm going to be like a $300 add-on to get vinyl maps. They look nicer, but like, are people going to reuse these maps? Some will, some won't. It kind of depends on how you play Gauntlet Runner. If you're doing the competition style where you're having like different squads or different solo runners attempt the same dungeon, then like there's a very high replay value with Gauntlet Runner, and it's one of the cool things about it. But not every group's going to do that. Other groups are just going to have like, this is just my one group that just me and my buddies that we play, and we're going to just play through this campaign. So why would I need this specific dungeon in vinyl? Because it's like, are we ever going to play that specific dungeon ever again? So it's very complicated, and I could not find a good solution. So that's why there is not currently physical maps, and it would just kind of be on you all to just kind of print them on your own, which, I mean, in the end, that would be cheaper for you to do it that way anyhow. I'm not totally giving up on a map idea. I just don't know what the solution is at the moment. If anyone has a solution or has an idea for a solution, let me know. Contact me on the Esper the Bard Discord, send me a DM, or send me an email to esperthebard@gmail.com. Okay. Great question, though. Great question. Fox Trottlement. Hey, Esper. Congrats on the Kickstarter. How did you choose the monstrous hero classes you did for updates? Okay, so I think you're talking about the Monstrous Contenders soft cover book that is associated with this. That you can either select it as an add-on, or you can get one of the bundle tiers. All the bundle tiers have this in here. So it's going to be a remaster of 4 monstrous heroes classes, monster classes, plus additional subclasses for them. And what else? There's like weapon masteries. There's a couple weapon masteries and like feats, spells, items. Like just a cool soft cover, slimmer companion for Gauntlet Runner. How did I choose which ones? They are going to be, you can see them right on here: Arachneer, Troll, Minotaur, and Revenant. There is a way that I chose them, but I'm trying to remember what it was. It was 3 of them were easy picks for me: Arachneer, Troll, and Minotaur, because I already had subclasses for them that I have been wanting to do ever since I published Monstrous Heroes. the Scorpio Arachneer, so it's like a scorpion one with a sting instead of a bite. The War Troll, which they're like specifically bred and modified to have like plating on them, or maybe to use weapons and armor. They're an armored troll. And then I originally called it the Star Beast Minotaur. That was my working title for it, but I recently changed it. It's not Star Beast. It's Starry Soul Minotaur, Star Soul Beast Minotaur. Sorry guys, there's a lot involved with all this, so sometimes the details escape me. But the essence of what those are, the Minotaur one is like there's a potential inside the Minotaur to overcome the darkness or the demonic influence or the unbridled bestial savagery, and to find like atonement with the celestial. It's actually an old ancient and subtle connection with the original Minotaur myth, because the original Minotaur's name is Asterion, starry one, or star, or like the starborn one. And it's this idea of, if you can brave the dark dungeon, if you can brave the dark cave, if you can brave the labyrinth, that underworld place of terror and danger, and find the monster at the heart of it, and confront that monster and overcome it with all your courage and all the tools and everything you've been given along the way, like become your very best, like your hero version of yourself, confront the monster and overcome it, you will find that there was, like, locked inside of that darkness, a bright star. It's this sort of like the brightest dawn after the darkest night. The hero comes at the darkest hour. The savior comes when things are at their worst and the crisis has reached its apex. So an old motif of finding light in the darkness, of finding this like beauty and goodness, and even like childlike innocence at the heart of the monster. So those were three that I'd been wanting to do since Monstrous Heroes, and they fit well with the premise of Gauntlet Runner, especially the Minotaur and the Troll one, because they fit that like city of mazes, both the lore and the history of the world, and then also the themes and this kind of like gladiatorial pit fighting aspect that there is to it. And then the Revenant, why is it with the Revenant? It's because, why is it? It's escaping me right now. The subclass is called Dread Skull. It's more of a skeleton Revenant as opposed to like a more zombie or ghoulish one that you would normally see. So they spoke to me. The inspiration for those four spoke to me, and they also fit well with the premise. So I'm rolling with that. Volps Corvum, will you collaborate with AJ, perhaps lore videos? The Lore Bard and the Abjuration Wizard. You are my two favorite D&D YouTubers. Thank you very much. AJ is going to be playing in Gauntlet Runner once again. He's going to be playing his ogre, Bagadon of Bazagon. He'll be playing in Dungeon 3. I'm going to actually start recording those sessions just later this week. And so they should go live while the Kickstarter campaign is still on. Probably they'll probably get posted on YouTube towards the end of the Kickstarter. So like at the very beginning of next month. Bob Gnarly's Magic Van. I think Esper and Daddy rolled a 1 are the best lore. Oh, I've never seen Daddy roll a 1. I think Esper and Daddy rolled a 1 are the best lore on the tubes. Thank you very much. Much appreciation. There's so many different video ideas I'd like to delve into, but I have to always choose things wisely, and there's only so much time. Fluga! I really hope we break through the higher tiers of stretch goals. I do too, man. Especially hoping for that 50k dungeon of Majmorha. as you might pronounce it. I'll back now. Thank you very much, Bob. Steve, Antoine, awesome. Glad I was able to get in on backing this morning. Yeah, that was a great surge this morning. That was awesome. Trosnium, one of the GMs from Myriad Legends. Good to see you, bud. Just popping in between sessions of Myriad Legends. Hype for the Kickstarter. Love seeing all the support. I do too. The support means so much to me, guys. I have really high hopes, and I've put so much into this project to get to this point, and there's still so much more to come. So that really is gratifying and motivating. Magnus Agma, with Monsters Heroes, we can have an amazing player duo with some dragon riding and mounted combatants and such amazing possibilities. Possibly so. There's a lot of ideas that I have for incorporating content from my books into Monster Melee. So that might just come a thing. We got a super chat in here. PBR STR, though I might be getting a truncated version of that. We need more Brotherhood episodes. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So I have a general premise and some loose notes on what the next one's going to be. It is going to have a bit of a Gauntlet Runner inspiration in it, though still continuing with their storyline. So it's not going to be a like, whoa, the Brotherhood warped to Basagon. It's not that. It's just going to be their next trial that they are put through is going to have that similar kind of format where you're like kind of locked in or sealed in this dungeon, and it's just like constant adventure, like back-to-back challenges, high difficulty, and the clock is ticking. Like if you waste too much time, there's going to be dire consequences. So that's all I am going to say about that. You will just have to see. Thanks for all you do for your channel. Thanks for all you do on your channel. Really appreciate it. Well, thank you for saying so. I truly give this my all. I put my heart and soul into it. Deathmaster, they have a poster printer. Oh, okay. Your local library has a poster printer. There are some of these Gauntlet Runner maps that are very big. So I think you will have some difficulty, as I have, of finding someone that can actually handle it. Dungeon 3, Algophobia, is really big. It's really, really big. It's just because there are multiple areas where the characters can go in like a tri-forking way. So I really wanted to give it plenty of space. That and the boss is large size, so he needed some space to really stretch his legs and his weapon. I'm treading dangerously close into spoiler territory. Lord of the Beans, could Incarnate or Canvas of Kings be alternatives? I didn't know that they did physical. Incarnate, Canvas of Kings. We'll see. Usually when it comes to services like that, they're not so much built for a business. They're more built for like a direct-to-consumer model where it's like you, the customer, are like buying your one specific map and they make it just for you. And the price point's high. It's like way too high for a business, but that's fine because it's just, you're buying something directly from them. They're the business. So I'll look into it and see what it is, though just my suspicion is that it's not going to be like an actual print service that a business would use. We'll see though. This is going to be sort of a shorter stream here, everybody. I have very limited time. I'm also really, really tired. You can probably imagine why. Axel, planning on backing this. Excellent. Please do, Axel. What are we at on funding, by the way? Let's cut back over that real quick. Have we hit 15K? We are pretty much hitting 15K, just right at the threshold of it. All right, cool. Any more questions in the chat? Shadow Band. What do you think of AI Dungeon Masters? I am building a Discord bot called Avrea that sources D&D Beyond and an online TTRPG with tavern for meetups. I did a video last year using ChatGPT as a dungeon master, and it certainly had its strengths and weaknesses. People pointed out that I need to really train ChatGPT or whatever AI first before it can reliably function as a GM, and I suppose that's probably true. What was it good at? It was good at giving like a on the fly description of the environments. I wouldn't say it was like artist level because it's AI. So it's never going to give you like A tier or S tier artist quality, human quality with actual real creativity and heart and soul in it. But like C tier and below, it's got that. B tier, I would say, is kind of the contested grounds. I think for a lot of people, when they read the descriptions that it provides, to them it's going to appear as B tier, or maybe even appear as A tier to them. But to the trained eye, it's not. To the trained eye, the way that it words things is very overdone, overcooked, a number of unnatural sentences. It's kind of cheesy and a bit unnatural and uncanny valley in places, but still, on the fly generating descriptions, it was pretty good. And I've tinkered with that some on my own. Like, I think it's good for giving me prompts. It's good for giving me prompts, and then I can say, okay, like that's like there's no way I'm going to use that, but that gets my gears turning. I also find it really good as a research assistant. That's probably one of my favorite things to use it for, is research assistant. Quickly calculating things. How much would a block of granite with this size weigh? How much would a statue of bronze that's like human sized weigh? Just quick, kind of more factual data point. Looking up historical things or finding me links. Really good as like a digital assistant, but as an actual like human creative, no. What was it not good at? Actually running the game, like just actually running the mechanics and rules of D&D. It was like an absolute complete dumpster fire fail. What do I think in general of AI Dungeon Masters? I mean, it's going to happen. It already is happening. So, I mean, that's just a reality of the world that we're in. We're in an age right now where any business that does not adapt to AI in some way is just shooting themselves in the foot. Now, as I was just talking about, I think there are ways to use it that are better or worse. And would I personally want to play with the AI Dungeon Master? It probably depends on how it's being used, because a lot of video games, you're essentially playing with AI. It's like a very specific AI that's been programmed just for that game. So in a way, it's kind of like a video game. So it's not really much different than that. But in other ways, it is different than a video game. And, I feel like something would be missing. What's missing? I don't know. There's something missing from that. It's like, would I buy a ticket to go see a movie created just by AI? Probably not. I don't know. I guess it's kind of hard for me to answer this, because I would have to actually see what it is to really know. I don't really know what that means, an AI Dungeon Master, I guess. So until I can really understand that better, what that looks like, I can't really give a great answer. In our Living World campaign, Myriad Legends, the idea was just like briefly thrown out. What if we have this AI that can run just these specific types of very short adventures, like a group wants to travel from one region to another, and the AI just runs a travel sequence. But we immediately came up with all these problems as to why that wouldn't work. There's something different with an actual tabletop role-playing game versus a video game. With a video game, you just reload and you keep on playing. With a tabletop game, if your character meets his demise, he's dead. Now, there are resurrection type spells and ways for magic to overcome that. But in the low levels of play, like levels 1 through 4 especially, and even in tier 2, a lot of times if the character dies, the character's lost. And, do we really want that weight of that to be in the hands of an AI bot? Like, hey, my characters were just trying to travel from green marshes to Krovzai, and this AI bot put us into this encounter and we got killed. I don't know. Something about that, there's a number of reasons why that feels weird. And I think people could probably trick the AI as well. They could probably like trick it and cheat it. So I don't know. That's all I can really say. Until I can actually see what it is, I can't really say for sure. Mr. Fluga, make the maps an expensive add-on that is made to order so you don't print more than you need and charge over $1,000 for each map. I mean, that is a way. That is one of the ways. That's one of the ways of all time. Let's see if there's any other questions here. Lord of the Beans. I'm a new DM running a campaign for my college buds. We have a new player, and the others are experienced. He has a good character, but no backstory. Doesn't do much in downtime. Advice in helping him? Has a good character, but no backstory. Doesn't do much in downtime. There's many kinds of players. Some players are just like that. That might be the case. There are some players that they're just happy to be there. They're just happy to be there, hanging out, enjoying hanging out with their buddies, and they like maybe the combat or like the character building aspect. They're just kind of into the tactical side of things. Not so much a role player, not so much talking in character, not so much about like the theatrical side of it or the storytelling. Not good at improv, not going to write a backstory, and that's fine. There's, like I said, there's many kinds of players. There's the opposite kind of player who is not good with the tactical side and isn't really good at combat, and but loves to be dramatic and theatrical and improv. So if he's just not that kind of player, then no worries. He'll pick up the bits of it that he does enjoy and that he is inclined to and is good at, and he'll participate in that way and be happy to hang out, and that's cool. Or maybe he just doesn't know yet. Maybe he would like the backstory and would like to play in character and do more of the storytelling and improv stuff, but just is inexperienced. You said he's inexperienced, but it's more like the desire is there, just doesn't know what to do yet. So there's a bunch of things you could do. It's like plenty of YouTube videos. I even have some about that, like how to role play and voice act, even if you're not good at it. Like you can do things. There are certain things you can do with your voice that anyone can do. They don't rely upon being able to talk in an accent or to do some strange effect with your voice or something. Like you don't have to be able to do that stuff. You can just talk with a little bit of a different cadence or emphasize words differently, and that can make you feel like a whole different person. You could talk a little bit louder or talk a little bit quieter. There's things you can do. Now, I have a couple of videos about this actually, about how to role play, how to voice act, and anyone can pick up these tips and use them. They're not like any oh, you got to be born with this special talent to pull it off. Part of it's just practice with time. He'll get better at it. There's other YouTube videos about backstory ideas. I even have a video about backstory ideas. Books, ideas from books, whether they're like literally TTRPG books or other books, fiction or nonfiction. A lot of people get ideas from characters in games and movies. So always good to get inspiration there. You might do a tutorial session with him. Take some time and do just like a 1 or 2 hour session and just practice, just experiment. Maybe have him make a few notes. You develop the notes on the character's backstory and personality. And, you know, what are the character's goals? What does the character want? What's something in the past that the character regrets or was hurt by? Or maybe a secret that the character is harboring. And just have like a session to brainstorm that and practice it. Make like a couple NPCs and just kind of, you know, walk through it. You can even have him walk through the same. You can have him go through the same scenario more than once. That's fine. Think of it like a testing grounds. Practice it. A lot of things just come with practice. So good luck to you and your buddy with that and your whole group. Esper is actually reading the chat from a crystal ball. Ed Wadding, business question, if that's okay. What rough percentage of your production costs did the artwork make up? I can tell you that. Give me 1 second. So a lot is going to depend on the funding, of course. The funding determines so much. It affects cost greatly. The main factor with that is the higher quantity of books you get printed. The bigger the order that you put in with the print company, the lower the per unit cost is of the books. So the more you buy in bulk, the better the per unit price is. That's just like a general rule, like universal rule. So let's just say the total funding gets to $50,000. The art the art budget total is going to be about $12,000. Now, a good chunk of that was spent already, pre-Kickstarter. Like as of right now, I've already spent $8,650 between like actual illustrations for the book and the trailer. And the illustrations for the trailer video, you know, they also are on the Kickstarter page. You can see them kind of all over the place. Let me find some good examples. Yeah, like this troll attacking the wizard. All these like section headings. Actually, there's another one. Yeah, the Mythal Emperor and the Labyrinth Lord. These headings, most of them are using images from the trailer. So they serve for the trailer, but they also serve for the Kickstarter page. And then I would like to get them in the book or get some of them into the actual book so that they might serve for that as well. So that's a lot of money, right? But they're fantastic artists and they're very talented and they deserve it. So yeah, the illustrations, that definitely is a chunk of it. That's for sure. Frank D, I hope this book becomes available on Amazon. I've actually never sold my books on Amazon. I'm not opposed to it, but I sell them from my own website. So there really isn't any difference between buying it on Amazon or buying it on my website. Like the process is essentially the same. I don't know, maybe Amazon's slightly more convenient for, because it's Amazon and they have you've got your information already stored in there, but you don't have to like make an account on my website. You can just check out. So yeah, esperthebard.com. Maybe my books will be on Amazon at some point. I'm not like opposed to it. I just not an area that I've ventured into yet. Maybe I should. Okay, I'm gonna wrap up here with. I'm gonna do one more question. Let's see. Any other question jumping out? I'm just gonna skip to the bottom here. JJ, what's your advice for integrating the optional honor or sanity scores for tables that haven't tried them? Oh, okay. I think honor is going to be easier to implement in D&D 5e. The main thing that you're going to do from a DM standpoint is the world building, and that has to do with like the culture. You know, what's the culture of a given location in the world? You know, why is honor a major point or major value of that culture? And you'll probably want to define it pretty clearly. What specifically does honor mean in that culture? What does it mean? How does one gain honor? How does one lose honor? Do people begin with just a baseline amount of honor due to their rank or caste in society or their family name? Or is everyone starts off at 0 and you have to build it up on your own, each individual? So yeah, a lot of it's going to be on your world building side of it. What is honor? How does that play into the culture? How does one gain it, lose it, etc.? The other part will have to do with the NPCs. Now the NPCs are part world building and then part like gameplay, right? Like, because they are also part of the actual in-game social interactions that have impacts on the decisions that the players make and can even impact their success or failure in the adventure goals. So you'll want to, create NPCs that express that culture, NPCs that embody that world building, someone who exemplifies the high honor and then like the average amount of honor and then the low honor or like a dishonored person. And, how does that affect those NPCs in the society and in the larger culture? Do we get to see them suffering the consequences or reaping the rewards of their actions that gain them or lost them honor? NPCs that are going to be enforcing whatever the social or legal ramifications are of having or losing honor. They're going to be talking about it in some sort of way. So that's the one that I think would be easiest to implement. Sanity is going to be a little bit trickier, I personally think. Can be done. Just 5e isn't the ideal system for it because it's like fear is a little bit weird in D&D. Like, you've got the frightened condition, and in many situations it works good. You have disadvantage on attacks and ability checks when you can see the source of your fear, and you can't move any closer to the source of your fear. What if you close your eyes? Does that mean you can't see your source of fear anymore? Or does the source of fear just have to be like within the technical line of sight between the frightened creature and the creature that has frightened them? Okay, what if I'm scared of this, let's say, ghost, but then, and the ghost is in front of me by the door, so I'm not going to leave this room because there's the ghost by the door and I can't move closer to it. But what if the room starts filling up with lava? The lava is not giving me the frightened condition. Am I supposed just to stay here and die in the lava? What if the lava is more dangerous than the ghost? What if my character is like higher level than the ghost? Just I happen to fail my saving throw. Am I more scared of the ghost than the lava that's going to kill me like instantly next round? I don't know. It's a little odd. Dragons have an effect that is like this draconic fear, draconic intimidation, the roar thing that they do that can inflict their enemies with fear. But like demons don't have that. Is a dragon scarier than a demon? I don't know. There are like nasty demons and undead that are just absolutely horrific, and like me, real world me, and real world readers of the books like get freaked out looking at them. And you look at a dragon, and yeah, I guess it's scary. It's definitely fierce and fearsome, but like, why does it inflict more fear? Insanity seems to be tied to fear, right? It's like psychological effects. If an enemy bard mocks you viciously and casts like the vicious mockery and does psychic damage to you, can that potentially harm your sanity score? Or does it have to be something that's visually scary, like a gibbering mouther or some kind of ghoul thing? How do you implement sanity and fear, mechanically speaking, into a game like D&D, where the characters are like superheroes? The characters are very powerful and very tough and resilient, and they fight all kinds of horrific monsters, one adventure after another, and they get burned, frozen, and electrified, inflicted with all kinds of conditions, falling down pits onto spikes, and possessed by enemies and ensorcelled by 1,000 different spells, and you fight like 100 different monsters and go to all these different scary dungeons, and like, yet you're kicking their asses. Like you're kicking the monsters' asses and you're slaying them, and your characters are like very tough and just like keep going. So sanity in that, I guess it could be done. It might just be my lack of experience that I'm not able to give good advice on it. It just seems trickier to implement. Seems like something that would work best at the very low levels, but it would be a bit of a struggle at anything higher level. Even like getting into like level 5 and above is gonna be difficult. Come on, 15K, where you at? All right, guys, I think that's all the juice I got in me. I have to get back to working on stuff and attend some to my family, who's been very patient with me as my whole day is just getting completely absorbed by the Kickstarter. Once again, thank you all so much for your support. Thank you everyone who's backing Gauntlet Runner. Very, very much have been looking forward to this moment. A big chapter has ended, and now a new big chapter is starting. The one page is turning. So look forward to a lot more to come in terms of Gauntlet Runner and in terms of the YouTube channel and the Myriad Legends living campaign and etc. So until we meet again, my brave companions, may your adventures be many. See ya.